He did it again, guys. He freaking did it again. Max Verstappen won the Japanese Grand Prix in a spectacular fashion after taking a brilliant pole position. Every time we think we've seen it all, and now it's McLaren's time to dominate, the guy just pulls an absolute stunner out of nowhere and drops everyone's jaw to the floor. Max is, let's just say, a perfectionist on track. I don't even remember the last time we saw him lock up badly or spin. Some people say the Senna Prost era was the greatest, or when Michael Schumacher was dominating, or when Lewis Hamilton was winning with Mercedes, but I think right now is shaping up to be the greatest era, as we're witnessing a driver make history and cement his legendary status in Formula One, or motorsport in general. Max is the benchmark. It doesn't matter if you have the fastest car, if you're even 1% off, Max will snatch the win and wipe the floor with you. So let's take a look at the top 5 races where Max made other drivers look like complete amateurs. Starting with the most recent race weekend in Japan, and what an unexpected turn that was. Max once again proved that even if there's the slightest chance of extracting more from the car, he'll find it. On his final qualifying run, he delivered one of the greatest laps around Suzuka. He was down by 800ths in the first 2 sectors, but with a perfect third sector, he edged out Norris for pole by just 100th of a second. There was nothing between the top 3 qualifying times, and yet both McLarens were behind Max in second and third, even though they had the fastest car. That's gotta hurt for sure. The race played out in similar fashion. Despite suffering from bad gear shifts early on, Max managed to keep the quick McLarens behind and won by 1.5 seconds. That is just crazy. I found it hilarious how everyone after the race was saying the fate was sealed in qualifying. Like, yes, overtaking is hard at Suzuka, but Max made 0 mistakes. The McLarens were right behind him, and after the pit stops, they couldn't even get within DRS range. A lot of people criticize McLaren's strategy, but I don't think that's fair. Like Lando said,
hindsight's a wonderful thing, I think.
The risk of a safety car at Suzuka is quite high, so the team played it safe by pitting Lando at the same time as Max. What I was disappointed by though was Lando's pace. I think he should have given Max a much tighter fight with the faster car. He just couldn't get close enough to Max in the final sector to get a good run on him down the DRS straight. The best Lando managed was cutting the grass coming out of the pits in a desperate attempt to get alongside Max. But again, beating Max is never easy. I feel like McLaren must have had a long meeting after that race about how they messed it up. Next up, we have the 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix. That race was one of the greatest motorsport performances, if not the greatest. In tricky wet conditions, starting from P17 with an engine penalty, Max won the race by about 20 seconds in a car that wasn't even the fastest. Extraordinary performances don't get better than that. That drive from Max was god tier. It was on a whole other level. The team also made great strategy calls that helped him clear a few cars early, but ultimately Max destroyed the field that day. With that dominant win and Lando Norris finishing 6th after starting from pole, Max basically crushed Lando's title challenge. That was a statement drive from the 4-time world champion. Next up, we have the 2023 Monaco Grand Prix. Now we all know Monaco can be a boring race where qualifying seals your fate, but nobody expected that qualifying would turn into one of the greatest sessions ever. Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin looked rapid on the streets of Monaco. In Q3, he put in a stunning 1:11.449 with purple sectors 1 and 2 to take provisional pole, 200ths ahead of Leclerc, with a minute left on the clock. Max in 5th was about 2/10 off before his final run. He started his lap and set a personal best in Sector 1, but it was only marginally quicker. Same for Sector 2. By the time he entered the final sector, he was 2/10 down. And that's a slow, tricky part of the track where it's hard to find time. But Max did what Max always does. He pulled off an absolute stonker of a final sector, flirting with the barriers, and snatched pole away from Alonso by 800ths of a second, finding more than 2/10 just in that sector. That was a very special lap. And as expected, the next day he won the race comfortably. I think that lap was very similar to what we just saw in Japan. Max pulling off something incredible when it matters most. Then we have the 2022 Belgium GP. Spa is Max's favourite track, and it shows. He took pole on Saturday, but had to start from 14th due to engine penalties. But in the race, he was a man on a mission to destroy everyone's hopes and dreams. His teammate Sergio Perez started second, but lost a few places early on, while Max had a brilliant launch. Max was already up to 10th by the time they reached the second corner. By lap 5, he was up to 6th. Within 2 more laps, he overtook Alonso, Vettel, and Albon. By lap 11, he was already in the podium places. His teammate was leading, but Max rapidly caught and passed him on lap 12 to take the lead. 13 positions in 12 laps. That's just ridiculous. After his pit stop, he rejoined behind Sainz and quickly overtook him for the lead. From there, he just disappeared. Max finished 18 seconds ahead of Perez, who had started from the front row. I mean, that was an otherworldly performance. No one stood a chance against him that day. And finally, the race where it all began, the legendary 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. Red Bull promoted Max to the senior team just 4 races into the season, replacing Danny Kvyat. Now think about it. A completely new team, a different car, a new environment, and the pressure of a top-tier seat. Plus, the guy you replaced was dropped mid-season. Talk about pressure. And Max? Just 18 years old. But none of that affected him. He started the weekend like he'd been in the team for years, 6th in FP1, 8th in FP2, and 4th in FP3. You could sense we were witnessing something special. In qualifying, he put his Red Bull on the second row, 4th behind teammate Daniel Ricciardo, so not a bad start. But Sunday's race took a completely unexpected turn when the 2 dominant Mercedes cars of Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton took each other out on lap 1. Suddenly, it was Red Bull versus Ferrari. Max was behind his teammate, and the 2 Red Bulls were on different strategies. Ricciardo and Vettel were on 3 stops, while Max and Kimi were on 2. That extra stop handed the lead to Max, and Kimi chased him down for the final 22 laps. Even with DRS, Kimi couldn't get through. Max didn't put a foot wrong. He took the win by 0.6 of a second, becoming the youngest driver ever to win a Formula 1 race and stand on the podium. First win in your first race for the new team. I mean, there's no better way to make a debut than that. That was the day the entire grid, especially the front runners, realized they had a whole new problem on their hands. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. There are a few other exceptional races too, but I felt these 5 were the real standouts. Let me know your favorite Max races in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.